Please be seated. Welcome, everyone. And before we get started, we would like everyone to please silence your cell phones. Thank you. We have assembled this day in the presence of God and one another for the purpose of celebrating the gift of love. In particular, we gather to honor and affirm the love that Hannah and Ben have found in one another. They have asked us to join them on this special day because, as Ben's and Hannah's family and friends, our lives are intertwined with theirs. The joy and unity of spirit that fills this room is both an affirmation of Hannah's and Ben's love for one another, as well as an acknowledgement that who we are has been shaped by the love and experiences we have known with them and through them over the years. As their two lives are joined today, we unite as one community to celebrate their love. Hannah and Ben, as you well recall, about 16 years ago, within days of getting acquainted during your study abroad program in England, you quickly became good friends. Through occasionally stimulating classroom discussions, and through daring and exhilarating rides through the Autobahn and other adventures throughout Europe, your friendship blossomed. After returning home and graduating from your respective universities, months slipped into years, but you always stayed in touch. And I have to say, Benjamin, as your father, when you described to your parents this ongoing pattern of consistently remaining in touch with Hannah, when lots of other relationships faded away over the years, your family continued to wonder what it was that was so special about your relationship with Hannah that was so unique. As the two of you repeatedly turned to one another while pondering next steps in your lives or during moments of deep need and personal vulnerability, the hours you spent over the phone or through FaceTime created an increasing sense of mutual respect and affection for one another. During those years, you learned to trust each other and to laugh together. You discovered that this was a person with whom you could fully be yourself. As time moved along, your understanding and appreciation for one another continued to deepen. Here you found a person who shared many of your dreams and values, a person who lived out a compassion for others, and who strengthened your resolve to do the same. And here was a person who seemed to appreciate you, even with all your faults and weaknesses and insecurities. So when you met in person for dinner a couple of years ago, it was as if a decade had never passed. For hours, you reminisced and laughed together about old times, and you caught up about things that were going well and challenges that were making life tough. Proof that a spark was reunited that evening was clearly evident a few weeks later when the two of you resolved that the time had come to more seriously explore the strengths and depths of your feelings for one another. To do so, you settled under one roof at Ben's home in Pennsylvania, and in just a few days you were convinced that you wanted to invest even more of yourselves in your growing and evolving relationship. As months passed, your friendship grew to form the foundation of a beautiful romance. Both joys and risks have increased as your commitment to each other has taken on richer, more complex, and more meaningful dimensions. You have learned through the sometimes painful experience of vulnerable honesty that often the most difficult truth to express is also the most loving truth to reveal and to accept with one another. Through these experiences, you have found in each other a person strong enough, emotionally and spiritually, to hear and embrace your truth. And you found a love, stable and rich enough to endure and grow even as you addressed and resolved the challenges you faced. Perhaps more than anything else, what brings you to this day today is the joy and the confidence each of you have known through the gift of unconditional love that you share with one another. You have resolutely concluded that in your life together, no difficulty can arise, no problem can emerge, that your love, honesty, and trust for one another cannot overcome. You ask us on this important day to reflect on a passage of Scripture taken from the Apostle Paul's letter to the church in Corinth. So we're reading from 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. As you know, Ben and Hannah, surrounding you this afternoon as you publicly commit your love and your lives to each other are your families and closest friends. Each of the individuals present with you this day represents a shared experience, a shared value or interest held in common, and a bond through blood or friendship. Each of them is literally a part of you, just as you are a part of them. And that's why it's so important, and why it's so meaningful that they are here to express their support for you on this day of such significance. One person who is not physically present among us, but who nonetheless is very present with us this day, is Janet, Ben's mother, who died 11 years ago following a valiant battle with cancer. She no doubt feels fully vindicated about her deceptive hunches of so many years ago about why her son's relationship with you, Hannah, was so special and so enduring. Janet's presence among us fills our hearts with joy on this special day, and it increases our happiness that we feel for you both. This wedding ceremony represents a significant life transition, a major turning point toward the future, but it also encourages us to consider the past, to call to mind shared experiences from childhood through adolescence, the college years, and beyond. It encourages us to reflect upon the experiences and the values we hold in common as we affirm the bonds that unite us all this day. Today, these shared experiences merge as the two of you begin your life together. And so for the persons you have been with us in the past, and for the life you begin together today, those gathered with you this day pledge our support, our love, and our hope for your happiness. It is our joy to share in the joy you have found in one another. But as joyous as this celebration is, we also acknowledge that the marriage covenant the two of you honor and affirm this day is much more than the words we share. It is more than we could fully express, because the marriage covenant requires such great risk and vulnerability, even while it offers immense joy and trustworthy security. It demands discipline and patience as it provides constancy and a creative openness to the future. It embraces who you are as it stimulates growth and nourishes the persons you are becoming. It is the driving force that enables you to walk side by side, even during times of transition, when life must fall in step with life. It is the cornerstone sustains truth by rejecting barriers of fear, deception, and distance. The marriage covenant is the very foundation that makes honesty, nurturing care, and mutual respect possible and genuine. Now, some might ask, if words aren't adequate to fully describe the depths and the complexities of all that the marriage covenant is and requires, why are we here this afternoon? And that's a fair question. But even if the words we share aren't entirely adequate, they still enable us to attain three worthy goals. First of all, the wedding ceremony provides a meaningful opportunity for Hannah and Ben to acknowledge and to fully affirm in our presence the joy they have discovered through the gift of unconditional love. Secondly, our gathering in celebration of their love provides a very fitting occasion for Ben and Hannah to publicly commit themselves to a lifetime of being good caretakers of the love they have found in one another. And finally, this festive occasion allows all of us who love Hannah and Ben the opportunity to assure them of our commitment to steadfastly support them as they face inevitable challenges and as they care for each other and serve as good stewards of the love they share. Now, in a few moments, as they exchange vows and rings, Hannah and Ben will publicly commit themselves to their life together. But right now, for all of us to bring our cherished memories and experiences with Ben and Hannah to this joyous occasion, as those of us who are bound with them through blood and friendship, we have an opportunity right now to call to mind all that we wish for them as they begin their life together. And so we ask for them a full life, rich in purpose and meaning. We do not ask that they live happily ever after, but we do hope they will feel happy often. We ask that they continually seek to do and to be what they believe to be right. And rather than a static contentment with each other and the world as it is today, we wish for them an ongoing and ever-flowing process of optimistic discovery and mutual satisfaction in their life together. Ben and Hannah, all of us who love you and have gathered with you this day, wish for you a growing and steadily deepening love for one another, patience and courage during difficult times of transition, a home that is filled with hope and happiness, confidence in the assurance that your friends and family will always be there for you. And we wish for you the gift of laughter all the days of your life. I now invite a dear friend of Hannah's, Caitlin Parmenter, to come forward to share a reading with us. Caitlin?
I love you, not only for what you are, but for what I am when I'm with you. I love you, not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are making of me. I love you for the part of me that you bring out. I love you for putting your hand into my heaped up heart, and for passing over all the foolish, weak things that you can't help dimly seeing there, and for drawing out into the light all the beautiful things that no one else had looked quite far enough to find. I love you because you have done more than any creed could have done to make me good, and more than any fate could have done to make me happy. You have done it without a touch, without a word, without a sign. You have done it by yourself. Perhaps that is what being a friend means after all.
Thank you, Caitlin. We now turn to the unity pouring ceremony. Ben and Hannah, you were born as individuals, but today your two lives become one life through the commitments you make in your marriage covenant. And you have chosen to illustrate your union through a symbolic blending of glass crystals. You will mix and integrate the crystals from two individual vases as an expression of your marital union. As the glass crystals combine and harmonize with one another, they not only symbolize the merging of your two separate lives, they also represent the blending of your families and friends into a unified whole as you begin your journey together this day. Following the ceremony today, an artist will take these blended crystals and form them into a unique and beautiful glass vase. The glass that will form that lovely work of art will remain intact and dependable. And the glass crystals that comprise that beautiful vase will never be separated, just as your lives and the lives of those who surround you this day remain whole, reliable, and in union with one another. And so I now invite each of you to pour the contents of your own vase into the middle vase together. As we have just so beautifully witnessed, Hannah and Ben, you are both strong and independent individuals. Today, you acknowledge that you embrace a shared vision for the future. From this day forward, you have committed to look in the same direction while you look to one another for strength, for nurture, for wisdom and courage. Through the public affirmation of your love, you are committing yourselves to face into life's problems and possibilities together. The promises you make this afternoon represent the commitment of today made with the confidence and trust for tomorrow. As you pledge your vows, it is with deep conviction that you are committing yourselves to a dynamic, growing relationship of trust, mutual respect, and caring love. And so I now invite you to confirm your commitment to one another as you exchange your vows. And then we will start with you as you repeat after me. I have chosen you, Hannah.
I have chosen you, Hannah,
To be my wife,
to be my wife,
loving you now and in your growing and becoming.
loving you now and in your growing and becoming.
I will love you when we are together,
I will love you when we are together
and when we are apart.
and when we are apart.
When life is peaceful,
When life is peaceful
when life is in disorder.
and when life is in disorder.
When I am proud of you and when I am disappointed.
When I am proud of you and when I am disappointed in you.
In times of leisure and in times of work.
In times of leisure and in times of work.
I will honor your goals and dreams
I will honor your goals and dreams
and help you fulfill them.
and help you fulfill them.
I will be open and honest with you always.
I will be open and honest with you always.
I joyfully forsake all other claims to my affection.
I joyfully forsake all other claims to my affection.
And with faith, tenderness, and respect.
And with faith, tenderness, and respect,
I promise to love and cherish you all of the days of my life. And now, Hannah.
I have chosen you, Ben, to be my husband.
Loving you now and in my growing and becoming.
loving you now and in our growing and becoming.
I will love you when we are together and when we are apart.
I will love you when we are together and when we are apart.
When life is peaceful and when life is in disorder.
When I am proud of you and when I'm disappointed in you.
In times of leisure and in times of work.
I will honor your goals and dreams and help you fulfill them.
I will be open and honest with you always.
I joyfully forsake all other claims to my affection.
With faith, tenderness, and respect.
I promise to love and cherish you all the days of my life.
I now invite Hannah's nephews, Avery and Gabe, to bring the wedding rings forward. The wedding ring is an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual covenant that unites two lives. May these rings be a continual reminder of the promises you have spoken here this day, and may they keep you ever mindful of the preciousness, purity, and permanence of your vows. They mark the beginning of a lifelong journey together filled with surprises, laughter, tears, and joy. May your rings glow in reflection of the warmth that flows in you through the love you share for one another. And so Ben, we'll begin with you. If you would take the ring. And then repeat after me as you place the ring on Hannah's finger. Hannah, I give you this ring.
Hannah, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and faithfulness to you.
Now, Hannah. I invite you to repeat after me as you place the ring on Ben's finger.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and faithfulness to you.
Ben and Hannah, this day will be fulfilled as you create together a life of shared love and common effort. Hannah and Ben have publicly affirmed their love and commitment to each other before God in this gathered community. They have sealed their covenant by exchanging vows and wedding rings. Therefore, through the authority vested in me as an ordained minister, and in accordance with the laws of the state of Wisconsin, it is my pleasure to pronounce them husband and wife. And so, Hannah and Ben, as an expression of your love and marital union, I now invite you to kiss as husband and wife. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and joy to present to you Mrs. Hannah Walsh-McElwee and Mr. Ben